Where are the boys and girls of the African black community looking toward black-owned entities, industries as a career path? Are there any black-owned businesses doing, how many black-owned businesses doing $5 million a year and hiring at least 30 employees that are black or African? Send our children to school or to give them, or they have developed talent where they either come start a business. I know we do have this kind of conversation a little bit. Start a business, come to my business, help build it or buy it, and help grow our company to become major corporations where our children will look as a career path to come work for us. When they have trade fairs, are there black-owned companies where children are opting to be an employee of a black-owned firm? And we are not hiring our own children. They say charity begins at home. So history tells us that for civil rights movements, we was always marching to become equally employed at other institutions that were built by other folk that don't look like us. Even though they might have taken some of our developments, our inventions, and built their companies, we still have not developed the kind of institutions that my children will go, try to find ways to come work for us. So if that's the case, I believe we should be trying to have dialogue with each other on how to fix this. We also, when we marched to work for major corporations that were ran by Caucasians or others, we went to the courts and et cetera, et cetera. But you have Hispanic companies, large Hispanic companies that ain't hiring me. You have large Chinese corporations that are not hiring me. We have Chinese corporations that are in our communities don't spend no money with us, don't give us no contracts. And it's not just those industries, but why are we not treating them the same way we did before with other entities? You have the government allowing other companies to come into our community from other countries with some bill. I forgot the bill number, but if they got X amount of dollars and say that they will recruit, it used to be, my understanding years ago, is that you could come to this country with X amount of dollars and go to a depressed neighborhood and hire from within the neighborhood. And that's not why we as black African Americans built this country, for you to come and only treat you. If you say you're in America, that means all of us should be employed by you. The other thing is, I was in a meeting where they were giving out awards at DePaul University, and I was talking to a Chinese person, and that Chinese person said that China is literally outshining the United States and outgrowing the United States. And I'm not quite saying how he said it, but the bottom line is, my comment was, I resent that because we as African Americans built this country. Why are we allowing other countries, because we used to be the largest country, the most powerful country in the world. Now we're sitting here letting other people come here to this country, develop their talent, go back to their country so they can make us smaller than them. The black community and the African community, the black and African diaspora, why are we allowing China and other ethnicities to come to our country or come to our communities, take all our resources, and we have not decided to develop, we have not figured out how to develop the way China did or the way the United States developed. And everybody takes my resources, and then on top of that, we still on the economic power bottom. So now we have got to start having, one of my suggestions is we need to create our own project 2025 or whatever number you want to add to that. We need our own think tank. We need to create a group. From my perspective, we need 360 leaders, organizations, send representatives to the table, create our own project 2025 that governs our community. Not saying that your group can't do what it wants to do, but we do have a guideline, just like the United States have a constitution, even though you got a lot of branches. I was asked the question, well, how would we fund that? So here's my suggestion on how we fund a forum like that will create that kind of entity. Every lane that you're in, for instance, I'm in lane follow the money from A to Z, or either I'll use it another way. I'm into the medical component. So I become a representative for the medical industry. 360 of us become experts or CEOs or representatives of their particular position in that lane. If we do a budget and it says that it costs $360 for us to put this forum on, where we can be fighting for 3 or 4 weeks a month in order to create our own project 2025, each one of us, if the budget says it costs $360, each lane will bring $1,000 so that we can fund our institution. That way we will, fund our project. That way we will not put a burden on any one person that has to raise money. But we're coming to the table in order to figure out how to create our own project 2025, our Heritage Foundation, and anything that relates to us. We need to bring all those industries together. Even if you and I disagree, we must find a way, because each one of those entities, I believe, wants to get us off the economic power bottom throughout the diaspora. So you might only have 2 things that I can agree with. I might only have 1, so we'll put them in the pot and create our project. So that's where I'm at. But the bottom line is, naturally, I'm talking about following the money from A to Z, and that just means that everything that we touch, we ought to be making sure that we get our piece, or know where our piece, so we can make it more equitable for us. All right, but that's from A to Z. We need to have a company together, because all our institutions, now we know there's some non-for-profit organizations that's getting governmental funds that might be limited on what they can add to the table, but they must have some kind of private project within their organization that can help us create our own project 2025.